Detective Digiduck. Written by Lindsay Buck and illustrated by Stephanie Cartwright. School had nearly finished for the year, and Digiduck had one last project. His teacher, Mrs. Goose, had asked the class to find out about animals that live in the forest. Digiduck knew his parents had friends in the forest, but he'd never been. Forests were a mystery. He needed to rush though. Crazy Cat and Footy Fox were on his family farmyard games team, and they were so close to winning. If he could do this quickly, they could still play before bedtime on their online game. He searched online for forest animals. There were so many websites to choose from, but one picture caught his attention straight away. "Perfect," he said happily. Digiduck discovered that a deer's antlers are the fastest growing body part of any animal in the world, and once they start growing, they don't stop. He also found out that doves travel for thousands of miles when they migrate and are happiest in cold weather. And he also found out that all dragons can fly and breathe fire, and they live in the deepest, darkest forests. "That's incredible," said Digiduck. He looked at the clock. Crazy Cat would still be online. Game time! Later that week, when Mrs. Goose returned his work, he was surprised. "Oh no!" he exclaimed. "I wonder where I went wrong." He arrived home feeling glum, which is another word for sad children. But he soon cheered up when he saw that Wise Owl was visiting. He was a good friend and had helped Digiduck before. "I don't understand," said Digiduck, showing them his work. "The website I chose had lots of information and fantastic pictures. I thought they were all real facts. How can I tell the difference, Wise Owl?" Wise Owl said that something is only a fact if you can prove or show that it's true. Like the fact that all birds have beaks. We can see that, so we know that it's true. So if I said all birds have 8 legs, that is not a fact. I know it's untrue because I am one, and I do not have 8 legs, replied Digiduck. "Precisely," said Wise Owl. Also, things you read or see online might just be ideas that people have. I could say on the internet that Brave Bat is the best superhero, but you might think that Daring Duck is better. We can't say who's right or wrong because they're our opinions or feelings that we have. To check if something is a fact, you have to be a detective, Digiduck, and look for information or clues in other places too. So, children, you cannot always believe what you read online all of the time. Not everything is true that you read online. Digiduck leaped up enthusiastically. "Detective Digiduck, on the case!" He quickly stopped in his tracks. "Hang on, where else are we going to look for information?" "I'm going to teach you 3 things that you can do to help decide if what you found on the internet is a fact or not. We'll use a different one for each forest animal," explained Wise Owl. "We'll video call one of the animals. We'll chat with your parents, and we'll look on another website too." "This is going to be amazing!" yelled Digiduck. "Please, can we call the dragon first? Please?" "We'll save the dragon for later, but we'll call my friend Big Buck first. No one knows more about being a deer than a deer himself. The call connected, and a magnificent stag appeared on screen. His antlers were quite unexpected, though. Look how small his antlers are, children, compared to what Digiduck had found out. Look. Hi, waved Digiduck. The internet says that your antlers grow really fast and never stop. But now, after looking at you, Big Buck, I'm not so sure. Our antlers do grow remarkably fast, said Big Buck proudly. That part's true. But we shed them in the spring and they grow again in the summer. Wait, they come off? Quacked Digiduck, turning a little pale. It's okay, chuckled Big Buck. They're meant to, and it doesn't hurt. They returned to the project over dinner. Mummy Duck, can you tell us anything about doves? Asked Wise Owl. I know that doves are truly extraordinary flyers, which means, children, that they fly really well. It won't be long before our friends think about heading off again. They migrate, children, which means they travel to a different country. Where to? Asked Digiduck. The internet said they like cold places. Not all doves are the same, but some fly an exceptionally long way to get to warmer places, and this migration lasts many months. Oh, the stories they tell, replied Mummy Duck wistfully. Right, Detective, what have we learned so far? Asked Wise Owl. Digiduck studied his notebook to check. So Digiduck studied his notebook. Wow, we need to check the information you find online. You need to talk about it with an adult. You might even know an expert who can help too, because you need to check that the information is true. Digiduck had Googled about deers, and they said that antlers grow and grow and grow and grow forever. But actually, after talking to Big Buck, an expert, he found that antlers fall off. And with the doves, the information that Digiduck found said that the doves like to migrate to cold places. But actually, that's not always true. Doves also like to migrate to warm places. Very good, replies Wise Owl. That just leaves the dragon. Oh, I can't wait, said Digiduck, hopping excitedly. Before we start, it's useful to ask yourself some questions about what you've discovered online. There might be things that you already know that can help. A good detective thinks really carefully about the clues to decide what the facts are. What do you know about dragons so far? Asked Wise Owl. The website said they can fly and breathe fire, replied Digiduck. Well, have you or anyone you know ever seen a dragon? Wise Owl asked kindly. I've seen a dragon fly before, but not a flying dragon. I don't think anyone I know has ever seen a flying dragon. Have you seen any other photographs, videos, or news reports about dragons in your books, on TV, or online anywhere? I don't breathe fire. I watched a video about Komodo dragons, but they're actually the biggest lizards in the world. There are fire-breathing dragons in my bedtime stories, but lots of made-up things happen there too. Maybe fire-breathing dragons are a mythical creature, an imagination, something from your imagination. Digiduck sat quietly, considering the clues in his mind. After a while, he said with a little sigh, I think dragons might not be real. I'm afraid they aren't, comforted Wise Owl. The information you found about dragons was untrue. They only live in made-up stories. But what terrific stories they are. Wise Owl and Digiduck searched online for a different animal to complete his project. The family farmyard had lots of interesting forest facts, and Digiduck also checked a website that Mrs. Goose had shown them. On the last day of term, the children were bursting with excitement. As a special treat, Mrs. Goose had arranged a picnic lunch at the forest school. So, children, what 3 things did Wise Owl teach Digiduck to do to check what he had found? Number 2. Decide if each of these sentences is a fact, an opinion, or untrue. A duck has feathers. A duck can spin a web. A duck is beautiful. Name 5 adults that you trust, that you know and trust, that could help you with any problems online. If anything online confused, worried, or upset you, how would you ask for help? What could you say? Can you use the internet to find out something new about a forest animal? Remember to use Wise Owl's top tips to check your facts. Actually, that final question is going to be an activity that we're going to do a bit later on, so you don't need to do that one now. But please do have a talk through these questions with your grown-up. That's the end of our Digiduck story, children, today. In the next session of your timetable, we're going to do a little activity based on this story.